Hey team, hey, I'm going to show you through 3 different sets of exercises using a landmine, some slings and some rings. So 3 different bits of equipment that are relatively cheap that can help you in your paddling, and some quick exercises that you can use in your own training. So here we go. So a landmine looks like this, just a pivot point for an Olympic bar to go into. You can also use like a corner, but it will damage the corner of the wood or whatever you're leaning that bar against. So it's more ideal to get one of these, and lasts forever, and it's a bit of a gym in a can. So here are some exercises that you can do with a landmine. The benefit of the landmine is most of the exercises are unilateral. So that means that it's really applicable to paddling, because in paddling we are paddling with one side at a time. So here we go. So a simple press exercise, good for the front delts. And obviously opposite side. So a pull exercise, so really good because we can drive off a leg like we would in paddling and add a bit of rotation. So if you want to do anti-rotation, keep the torso still. If you want to train rotation, rotate the torso. We can also squat on one side. So if we put the bar up on one shoulder, lean down, and it becomes a hack squat machine, which really engages the glutes. You could also do that on one leg to make it more difficult and adds that little bit of balance as well. You can also add combination movements with the landmine. So bend down, pick up the landmine and turn it into a press. So we're both pulling and pressing in the same movement. And final exercise for the landmine, standing and rotating around, training those obliques. That's an awesome staple for rotational based training. So sling training. Sling is a fixed loop. Climbers use this, not sure what for, but I've adapted that into kayak specific movements from the bottom up. So driving from the legs through the shoulders without using the arms. So you would have seen these before if you've seen my YouTube channel. So here's a quick reminder. So one arm through the sling, turn around, leg forward and rotate. Simulates the kayak stroke. Perfectly. Other side. So around one shoulder, sling it around the body and rotate through the legs. Just try and get that light out of the way. So you can also use slings as an isolated pulling movement on your feet. So if we stand up, attach to that same rig, and we can pull in. That's just another variation of a pulling exercise. So it also works as a press, and it's really going to help the core as well, because you've got nothing resisting your body moving back like a bench press. So it's more of a full body functional movement as opposed to a pure strength exercise. But we can make that unilateral as well, which is actually really hard. And that will help train anti-rotation. So another sling movement. This is a top-down kayak specific exercise. So I get in a kneeling position with the same knee up as the side is I'm going to pull from. So I'm working off the same side and I'm pulling down, really activating my lat and letting that stretch out. So come down and it's like a paddle stroke. So I've got this stick here. I put that into the band and now come down to where I would catch. So that really trains a top-down paddling specific movement, which is really good for strengthening your catch. Another sling exercise is just a multi exercise. So it's got a push and a pull involved. So we can just change the angle. So you can do this standing or kneeling. I'll just do it kneeling for the sake of the camera. So we can pull and then push, pull and push. So it helps create rotation and just does a pull and push in the same movement. So good for reps, good for function, good for your core, and good for a quick exercise if you're running short on time. And finally, the ring. So I like the rings because you can do ring pull-ups, inverted rows or Australian rows, and there's all sorts of cool movements that you can start learning, like the false grip and getting into like ring muscle ups and some gymnastic based movements if you want to try something a little bit different, if you're getting a little bit bored with your training. Also really cheap. You just need somewhere to hang them off, whatever that might be. So Australian rows or inverted rows, great for building volume for better pull-ups. So you can do a lot more reps than you would be able to do a pull-up set, and something you can do quite a bit. Also a good place to start if you're trying to do false grips or learning how to do false grips, and helps improve wrist strength. So Australian row or the inverted row would look like this. So let yourself sink to the bottom, scapula's fully protracted, and then retract, pull, and come straight to the top, and then eccentrically lower yourself down slowly. And then again, to make it more difficult, put your legs out straight. To make it more difficult, again, put your legs up on a box, so you're at a slight decline. So these are really good for working the rhomboids and mid traps, which is often something that paddlers are weak on, because we don't often get that full shoulder extension during the paddle stroke. Paddle stroke typically stops about there, so full shoulder extension would be back there, which means we are typically internally rotated or strong in that internal rotated position. So putting strength in those rhomboids and mid traps is really good for shoulder health. So press ups on the rings, also a great exercise because you get that little bit of instability on the shoulders, which just increases the difficulty slightly rather than a fixed position on the floor like a press up would be. If you're trying to do pistol squats, you can hang on to a ring, get right down low, and then use a little bit of help from your arms to get yourself back up, which helps train that full range of motion of the pistol squat. So from the other side, and then just take the weight off your arm as your leg gets stronger. Hey, thanks for watching that far. Check out my website, strongpaddler.com. There's a range of gym programs and gym sessions you can get on the membership option on the website, as well as some programs you can purchase off the shop. Link is in the description below, and check out this video up here, which gives you more detail on some other exercises you can do in the gym. Cheers.